Chapter 18 of The Sacred Stones drops your army deep inside a volcanic cavern. It is a map designed to punish careless movement, but if you know how to exploit its specific mechanics, it doubles as one of the most lucrative power leveling zones in the entire game. Your tasks here are straightforward. Wipe out the enemy forces, safely disarm the environmental traps scattered across the map, and eventually take down the Gorgon boss waiting at the very end. To pull this off, your pre-battle inventory setup has to be exact. Open your convoy and equip your healers with restore staves and distribute pure water to your frontline fighters. You also need to adjust your active roster. Make sure you deploy at least one thief, rogue, or assassin before initiating the battle. Bringing these specific items and utility classes neutralizes the exact threats this cavern throws at you. Instead of scrambling to survive the environment, you control the pace of the map, allowing you to safely harvest it for experience points. Step 1 is navigating the physical terrain. The cavern forces you through narrow corridors, meaning you have to advance your unit slowly to avoid stepping into danger. As you push forward, you will notice sections of yellowish, cracked floor. If a standard unit ends their turn on one of these tiles, it bursts into flames, inflicting exactly 10 points of damage. Taking 10 points of unavoidable damage puts your units at a massive disadvantage, dropping them right into the lethal strike range of the enemy forces waiting in the next room. This split-screen diagram shows how to counter the floor traps. On the left, a standard unit takes the fire damage, but on the right, moving a thief or rogue directly onto that same cracked tile permanently deactivates the trap. If you are playing on hard mode, the map features an additional layer of hazards, invisible tripwires that trigger enemy reinforcements. Crossing these hidden boundaries causes waves of bale spiders and flying gargoyles to immediately spawn and rush your position. Here is a top-down map detailing those hidden triggers. 4 distinct horizontal lines stretch across the grid. Crossing line 1 spawns enemies from below, line 2 brings them from the sides, and lines 3 and 4 trigger top corner ambushes. Knowing exactly where these lines are, you can park your fragile healers safely behind them, and then send a heavily armored tank unit across the threshold to intentionally bait the ambush. By pulling the trigger lines one at a time on your own terms, you keep the enemy numbers manageable, preventing the map from ever swarming your army. With the enemy ambushes successfully cleared, you can finally focus your attention on the grotesque Gorgon eggs scattered across the battlefield. Destroying an egg awards a massive amount of experience points. There is no penalty for higher-level units either, making this effective for everyone in your roster. But you have to work quickly. At the start of every single turn, each egg automatically regenerates 5 hit points. If an egg manages to recover its health to maximum capacity, it instantly hatches into a fully formed Gorgon monster. Looking at this diagram, you can see the danger of partial damage. If you leave an egg with just a sliver of health, those 5-point healing ticks will eventually push the bar to 100%, spawning a new enemy. To avoid this, follow one strict rule of engagement. Never initiate an attack on an egg unless you have enough units in range to guarantee its destruction by the end of your turn. Calculate your damage output, use stronger units to weaken, let recruits strike the final blow to maximize their experience gains. Treating the eggs like a strictly timed resource rather than a combat encounter allows you to systematically drain the map of experience points without risking a bad monster spawn. Once you've harvested the eggs, it is time to engage the map's boss, a level 15 Gorgon. This stat screen shows her primary threats. She possesses a high magic rating and uses Demon Surge to deal heavy damage from a distance. However, the real danger is her secondary weapon, a spell that inflicts the Stone status. If the Stone spell connects, it completely immobilizes your unit. Worse, any follow-up attack against a petrified unit is a guaranteed critical hit, leading to an almost certain death. Before you enter her attack range, select a unit with high natural magical resistance and have them consume a pure water item to temporarily boost their defense even higher. This grid displays the required formation to safely bait her. Place your frontline attacker inside the boss's range and position your healer, equipped with the restore staff, exactly 1 square behind them, locked into the safe zone. During your attack phase, the Gorgon will likely counterattack. If her stone spell connects, your frontline unit freezes in place, completely immobilized. Because your healer is already stationed directly behind them, you can immediately use the Restore Staff to cure the petrification before the enemy phase even begins, keeping your attackers safe and ready for the next round. Systematically neutralizing the stone effect strips the boss of her lethal advantage. Without the threat of guaranteed critical hits, taking her down becomes a straightforward physical exchange. Once the boss falls and the remaining enemies are cleared, the chapter objectives are complete. Thanks to your careful execution of the egg harvest, your squad walks out of this cavern with a massive power spike, giving you a distinct tactical advantage for the endgame. But before you move the story forward, leave your army right where they are. This specific cavern remains accessible for world map skirmishes. Fighting the monsters here repeatedly provides the most efficient leveling loop available. Spend a little time here bringing your weaker units at a speed, and your army will be fully prepared for the final stretch. When your roster is ready, we'll see you in Chapter 19.